So it's my first morning here in Hue, and I'm honestly quite liking the city so far. I mean, it's busy, but it's not quite as busy as Hanoi, and the vibe here just feels quite nice. So I've got a really good first impression of Hue, despite the fact I've only walked through a couple of streets. But one guy on a motorbike has rode up to me 3 separate times, trying to insist that that he takes me round to see the places. But every time I've told him no, I'm fine walking there. So yeah, that's a interesting introduction to the city, but hey ho. So I'm currently making my way to the Imperial Citadel, which is very much the most famous part of Hue, and even though it is considered famous, it is definitely, I think, worth a visit from what I've seen. So I'm really looking forward to going around and exploring the Citadel and seeing all the you know, historical buildings. And from what I've seen, it's way bigger than the one I've been to in Hanoi, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it and just seeing how some of these really cool ancient buildings. So looking forward to that. Hopefully the price is decent to get in. So I have now arrived at the Hue Imperial Citadel. It was honestly quite a nice walk here from through Hue to get here, down the Perfume River and over it. So again, apart from the guy on the bike, I had a perfectly pleasant walk here, and it was really nice just getting acquainted with Hue. And yeah, I've just bought my pass, which cost around 200,000 dong, which, whether or not I've been overcharged, it doesn't seem like a bad price for the whole day to go and see inside of there. So, but yeah, that's the price you can expect to pay if you come here. So make sure you have 200,000 dong in cash on you. And yes, I mean, I haven't even gone in the official bit that you need to pay for yet, which is through those gates there. But I'm technically in the outer grounds now, as you can kind of tell by this building here and those like gates over there. And already it's really interesting. I mean, I'm standing by this here, which I'm guessing is like a central guardhouse or something for the outer walls. And I mean, you can't go in it sadly, but it already looks, the architecture, and it looks really interesting. You can tell from the way it's shaped that it's definitely shaped and the way it's designed that it's definitely an old building. So I'm really looking forward to getting inside and seeing the rest of it. Honestly, I would have loved to have seen this place back in its heyday, because there are a lot of buildings that used to be here that aren't here anymore, so you can't truly see how grand it used to be. It reminds me a bit of when I went to Rome and so on, because there are a number of buildings here that aren't here anymore. I mean, quite a few have been restored and look absolutely amazing, but it's just a shame that there are some that aren't here anymore. For all I know, if you look at the shape of the ground there, that could be the foundations of one of the old buildings that's no longer here. It's a shame because you see pictures of it and they've had a few actual models that I've seen so far, and it looked like it really was a grand place here. But I mean, it still is. It's still amazing, but it's just a shame that, you know, we can't see it in its heyday anymore, because I would have just loved to have seen it and seen how it looked with everything here, with all of the royal artifacts that were there then still there, and all of the amazing buildings. It's just, you know, it's amazing as it is, but I would have loved to have seen it, just to see what it was like in the past. You can see how different it was recently, because in this photo, I'm pretty sure that is the gate where I came in from. That is a building that's currently cordoned off, and this is what's directly behind it, and this is somewhere in here is roughly where I am now. Now I can see a building a bit further up that I think is that one there, and in between it, this is open grassland now. Again, it's hard to see because of the reflection, but these were built in the photo. These are buildings. I think I'm about here, and most of these buildings are gone. So that kind of shows you just how much has disappeared since then. But when I say since then, this is a photo, so it shows that some of this has disappeared in more recent history. So from what I can tell on the photos and models that they have displayed here, there used to be a building there where that wall is. I mean, that wall is possibly still part of it. There used to be one right here in this, where this depression in the ground is. And there used to be one just over there, roughly where the Golden Dragon is, between those two little pavilions and in front of the big building behind it. So, yeah. It's amazing to think what this place looked like when all three of those buildings were still standing. So one of the reasons that there's not a lot of buildings here, or some of the buildings here are gone, is because during the Vietnam War there was quite a heavy amount of fighting that took place inside the citadel itself. For example, during the Tet Offensive, part of the Viet Cong managed to occupy part of the citadel, and in turn they were fighting the Americans and the South Vietnamese army here, and the resultant shelling, bombing, shooting, a lot of that led to the destruction of some of the larger buildings here, which is sadly why some of them aren't left. But I mean, they have done a really good job at restoring certain sections of this place, because in certain parts they have photos of showing different buildings damaged during the Vietnam War or in other events, and then they show you them today after they've been restored, and they're honestly doing a really good job at keeping the feel of this place alive and helping people to understand what it was like and the culture and how things were back then. So despite the fact that a lot of stuff that used to be here isn't, they've done a really good job at preserving the citadel, and it's really good to just explore this place and just see what it was like, because it's amazing. My second day in Hue was a lot more laid back. Instead of going to any major attraction, I just decided to spend the afternoon strolling around parts of the city. I feel that Hue is honestly a really nice place, and while you can do it as a day trip from somewhere like Da Nang if you just want to do the major tourist attractions, I have honestly really enjoyed the few days that I've spent here.